Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Christmas wreath card. I used the stamp set called Peace This Christmas and I've used that stamp there. This is the card that I showed on my blog the other day, and I've made two changes. One, I've changed the bow that I've used. That one I put up there because that had gone a little bit wonky and I thought that helped distract from it. And the other thing that I did was on here I put some little pearls that I'd used my dark Daffodil Delight blend pen, the alcohol marker pen, to colour them yellow. But I decided I didn't like that, and on this one I've used slightly larger pearls and I've just left them natural. And just bring these a bit closer so you can see the difference between the two. Okay, on this one I also put the yellow pearls down here, and I was going to put plain ones on here, but I've got a little bit of an ink mark there, so I need to do something that's going to cover that up. So we'll start off with, and I'll tell you the card pieces that you're going to need. You will need a card base in Whisper White that measures 11¼ inches by 5¾ inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, and that is 21.5 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.25. Then you'll need two pieces of red Glimmer Paper which measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres, and then two pieces of Whisper White cardstock which measure 3 7/8 inches by 5½ inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then you'll need a piece of Whisper White which measures 3¼ inches by ½ inch, which is 8.2 centimetres by 1.2 centimetres. A piece of red Glimmer Paper which measures 3 3/8 inches by 5/8 inches, which is 8.5 by 1.5 centimetres. And then you'll need a scrap of real red, it probably is real red actually, but the red Glimmer Paper for the bow, and that should measure probably 1¼ by 1½ inches, which is 3.1 by 3.7 centimetres. And you will also need a 1¾ inch circle. Doesn't matter what that's in, but you're just going to use that to draw around. We do actually do a 1¾ inch circle punch, which is where my one came from. Right, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the front of our card and we're going to draw around our circle. So I have a pencil here somewhere. Yep, here it is. And the circle needs to be approximately 1 inch down, 1 inch in either side. It doesn't have to be wildly accurate, but something pretty close is good. So that's down approximately correct. That is a little bit too far over, and that's about right. Make sure I didn't bring it down too much. Nope, that's fine. Okay, so once you're happy with the position, just draw round the circle with your pencil. Okay, so the way I have done this is I have been painting the stamp using my marker pens and then stamping one image and then re-inking, repainting rather, and then stamping, and it takes 6 to go all the way round. I've got one sitting there where I've done 5, so I can show you the last one. So I'm going to show you how I get started. I'm going to show you how I line up the next one. So I think what I'll do is I'll bring the camera closer so that you can see how I'm doing this, because there aren't any actual real dividing lines. It's up to you to decide where one colour stops and another one starts. Okay, so let me bring you down first of all. Right, as you can see, for example, where the where that leaf comes down to the flower, there's no dividing line there, and likewise with these. That's a leaf coming out here, and again, no dividing line, so it really is up to you. So what I do is I have my 4 colours lined up by the side of me, and I keep them in the right order. And these are, first of all, it's real red, and then I've got cherry cobbler and wild wasabi and garden green. Now I'm going to find this a bit difficult because I'm not used to working so close to the camera, but I need you to see what I'm doing. So I'll put those out of the way. So I'm going to use, I always use the pens in this same rotation. The reason partly is because I've tried to start doing with the lighter and working up to the darker colours, and also I felt that if I had a routine going like this, then hopefully I wouldn't forget. For example, if there was somebody at the door or if the phone rang, something like that, then I could just get up and deal with it and not worry that I would miss a bit, stamp it down and then find that I hadn't painted a bit. So first of all, I'm going to do the poinsettia, and I'm just drawing around a circle, a curved mark onto the leaf. I wonder if I can do this holding it up like this for you. Okay, so I take my pen, just draw it around. Okay, so I'm going to have a round edge to my petal, and then round this one I've got that leaf at the end there, so I want to do that one green. So again, I'm just drawing it round, colouring it in, turn it again. Now I think there's a leaf under that, but I paint it red, and then just bring that down, so that's another petal. And then last of all, I'm just taking that up against the pine branch, bring it around and then back down again. Okay, so just give that a bit of extra ink on it. Now this will dry before I finish, but that's okay, I can just huff on that. Okay, so that's the red, the real red. So move the pens, put that one at the back. Now my cherry cobbler, I'm going to do the berries with this. So first of all, there's a little branch down there, a twig, that's part of the berries. So I do that one. And then I paint the berries, and there's little twigs there as well. So that is really joining up next to the real red. Okay, so that's okay. Pop that one away. Now my wild wasabi, and the wild wasabi I'm going to be doing these little leaves, that one at the end there, and then these. The pine needles I'm going to be doing with garden green. Okay. Now there's also another leaf there, that one there. Can you see that? Yes, you can see that. That one down there, rather. And I just paint that with the pine needles. Oops. Okay. So turn this round. I'm going to do the little bit on the end of my poinsettia. Just do that in a straight line. And for this one, just put the pen down for the stalks. This gets a lot quicker as you go along. And then this one, I'm going to draw round the half circle that I did for the poinsettia, and then paint the rest of the leaf. Because there aren't any definite lines there, there's no right or wrong for doing this. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'm going to do the pine needles. I'm just going to do a straight line down there, round the curve of the poinsettia, and then round the curve of the berry, and then colour the rest in. Okay. And then I'm coming on to the other pine needles. Make sure I stay in view for you. It does feel funny doing it up in the air like this. And then I'm going round the poinsettia, round over that little leaf that I said was there. And there we go, paint that. Okay. Now, because I've been doing that up in the air, I'm just going to go over this again quickly, just to make sure that I haven't missed any bits. And I have already set up my Stamp-a-ma-jig for this. For a job like this, the Stamp-a-ma-jig really comes into its own. Also, if you find that you've put ink in the wrong place, for example, if I had put too much, I'll come back, if I'd put too much red up here, the way that I would deal with that is I would take a blender pen. Now I haven't got red on it, I've got green, but no worries because I'm going to go over it again. But if you just put your pen on that, you see, you take all the colour off. And let's get a scrap of paper. And then you would need to just clean your I did that bit out of screen, sorry, but you just need to clean that off. So now if I go over that again with the green, that will colour that in again. It just gives you a bit more definition in the poinsettia. Anyway, I wanted to paint all those over again anyway, didn't I? Okay, let's paint that one again. Right, okay, so let me take you up again so you can see how you position your stamp. Okay, so can you see my circle now? I'm going to do my first one over here, and as I say, I have my Stamp-a-ma-jig already set up. So what I'm going to do is the three areas that I line up with my pencil mark here, not just this one, but as I'm going all the way round, I line it up with this leaf here at the end. I want to see my pencil mark going right through the middle of that flower, so it goes right through that dot, and then I want to see this one coming on the line as well. Okay, what I'll do is I'll get this into position so you see me doing it, and then I'll bring you back down again so that you can see how I've done it. As you can see, I have made mistakes doing this upside down, so I've now got myself a arrow on it. Right, okay, so first of all, now bearing in mind I can't put my head over this too well. That is probably not a very good idea for a video. Right, so I've got that flower lined up. I can see my pencil mark going through my flower, and I can see that sitting on there as well. So let me just bring you back down again so that you can see. Oh, right, okay. Let's move that up a bit, otherwise you won't see it. Okay, so you can see how that is on the line. You can see that is on the line, and you can also see the pencil mark going through the flower there. Okay. This is a bit of a dodgy thing using this little remote control here, because right underneath the zoom button is the on-off button. The amount of times I've done that, pressed the wrong button. Right, so I'm putting my Stamp-a-ma-jig tool in place, and I just knocked that out, didn't I? Okay. So I'm just going to huff on this. So excuse me a moment. And then stamp down. Okay. So I now need to paint it again. I don't wash in between. I find that it's quite helpful to have a build up of the ink on here. Obviously you're free to choose which colours you like to do. I just wanted to make sure that I had 2 greens and 2 reds that were different from each other. So there's that one. And do the berries. First of all, that line down there. This isn't the kind of thing I'd recommend for you if you're not patient. I find it very, very relaxing. I quite enjoy this. Now on this one I have gone too far on the red. I put the red too far up here. Okay, so now that I've done that, right, that's the one I need. That's better. And then the, what did I say, this was garden green. So there we go, that's that all painted again. And now to position this for the next one, I still line up on those 3 points, which looks like it's going to be there, and I've gone too far over. Let's bring that back again. Right, so I've got that one okay, I've got the centre through, and now if I can twist it round a bit, because I know that what else I need is for that leaf there to be coming over these pines, that leaf to come over the pines, and then this one has got to just about get onto that flower, and that one should be on the flower as well. If you get these all positioned up correctly, then you'll get 6 of these in, and that will complete your wreath beautifully. So there's that one. Huff on this. Okay, so you just keep on doing that. Shall I do another one to show you? And then move on to the one over there that I've done. More to show you lining it up really. Obviously it gets a little bit more, as it gets fuller, it takes a little bit more thinking about to get it lined up. But once you've done the second one, once you've lined the second one up with the first one, then at least you've got something to follow. Now this one for the berries. And then the wild wasabi for the leaves. And then the little bit at the end of the poinsettia. I've used quite a lot of red glimmer paper for my card. If you don't have red glimmer paper, you can always use the real red cardstock. I mean, this is obviously the kind of card you wouldn't send out to loads of people. But like card making generally, it's got to be one of the most relaxing hobbies ever. There we go, so that's that one. So here we go. I'm going to line this up again. So the little leaf on the pencil line going through the centre of the flower there, and then to get this lined up with that one. There we go. So what I've got lined up here is I've got this one just about touching the pine needles, this one going right the way through, this one going through and onto the flower, and then this one coming onto the flower as well. In fact, that little leaf has come off as well. Let's get you back on. That's it. Right, okay. Let's huff on this. Now when you come to do the next one, which is the fourth one, you should find that the flower will be opposite this flower because you're halfway, and you'll have another two over here to match those two. Okay, right, so I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to bring this one back again, which is where I've done the 5 and I've just got this last one to do. Okay, so you can see the size of the gap you've got there. So let me colour this again. As you can see, it doesn't really take much time to do this, but it is just really patience, I think. Right, so we have the cherry cobbler for our berries. First of all, the stem that goes down there. Got wild wasabi rather for the little leaves here, and then for the little one at the end here. There we go. And then finally the garden green for the pine needles. There we go. So let's get the acetate back for the Stamp-a-ma-jig. Turn that round. And now this one you fit in where it's going to look best. There's my pencil mark on. There it is. And of course you can't see where this leaf here is lining up. So you really do have to rely on what you're doing over this side. And I think that's going to have to be it. What I'm looking at now is I'm just checking to see how close that flower is to this flower and that one there. I wonder if I could just lift it up a bit. Where's the... If I go up too much, it means that it's going to start looking uneven. So I'm going to go with that. Obviously at the end of the day it's a wreath, so it's not going to be perfect. Right, I'm going to huff on this, excuse me again. And there we go. That's quite a good shape for a wreath, isn't it? Yes, I'm pleased with that. Right, okay. Now, what we need to do is, because we are, or at least if you're using glimmer paper like me, I'm going to adhere this on here with Tombow, and I'll show you what I do because it does need a bit of pressure to help it to hold it down while it's working its magic. So I'm just putting some Tombow round the edges here, and just a little squiggle. And position it where it should be. Right, I don't know, yes you can just about see it from here. I have my grid paper on one of these, I don't know what, this must be an A3 size, what they call a self-healing mat. So what I do is once I've done that, I pop it underneath. So it's got that pressure on. If you're not working on something like that, then find a book or something to help you. Now I'm going to do the stamping at the bottom here. Now for the sake of the video, I'm only going to do one. I can always come back later and add the other one on. So I just need to paint this one more time. And then cherry cobbler for the berries. Wild wasabi. And then finally, garden green. Whoops. That's not bad. That's the first time that I've actually done something wrong. I mean, obviously there have been times when I've, like the red, I had to clear that off, but that one really was dipping it in the wrong place. Right, so that's it. I will just use this to position it correctly. Shall we do a sideways or no, we'll do a straight, I think. And a huff, excuse me. There we go, that's lovely. Now I'm going to put this piece on here and pop it underneath the board with the other piece. And then I'm going to be doing the sentiment. In fact, let me pop that in there as well. That doesn't really matter, does it? Because I haven't put the front on yet. So let's close that. pop it underneath. And then for the sentiment, I am using Peace, Joy and Love, which is from the musical season stamp set, this one here. And again, I've painted this, but this only needs to be done the once. Which way round am I? That's it. So what I do is for the cherry cobbler, I do the 2 decorative bits at the end and the 2 dots in the middle. I use real red for the joy. Garden green for peace. No, this is wild wasabi for peace. Not that it matters which way round the colours go. And then we really will have garden green, but that's for love. Okay, I haven't set my Stamp-a-ma-jig up for this. I possibly should have done, but let's see how we get on. It's a very, very small piece of cardstock. It is the right size. Can you still see that? Yep, okay. Just make sure that that's straight. I wonder how far forward I can come. Right, go for it. Let's see how we did. Wow, look at that. Amazing. Right, so this is going to go on the glimmer paper. Now this one I cut a bit wider than I wanted it to be, but the glimmer paper, that is. But I can live with that. Okay, so that can go underneath. So while that's just taking a little while to get sorted out, I'm going to bring my big shot up and do my bow. And the bow that I'm using this time is going to be this one, which is from Everyday Jars. Normally I could turn it over and show you, but this is one that I haven't done yet. So I've got my scrap of glimmer paper. I know this is quite a long video, so what I've done is I've actually already got my bow ready, sitting over there with the dimensionals on it ready to be stuck on the card. Let's have a look. Oh yes, that's fine. So that's all I need the big shot for. You could obviously just use ribbon and have a proper bow on here. But my real red ribbon has only just arrived. Just before I started the video, my UPS man turned up with my delivery, because I kept on forgetting to order the red ribbon. There we go. Okay, beautiful beautiful bow, that one. Right, so let me get all my bits out now. That one. that one and come back this one. Okay, so let's do this one on the front first. You can use fast fuse for this if you prefer, or the tear and tape. There we go. This I'm going to pop on with dimensionals, which I have here. And I'm going to use 4 of these. So once I've finished the video, I'll finish off the other card because I've got my bow ready for it. Right, now this you can place wherever you like. Depends where you're going to put that really. If you're going to put yours up there, I'd suggest that comes up a bit higher. But if you're coming down there, which is what I'm going to be doing, I think this should be a bit lower. Where's my tweezers? There we go. Let's just tip this up so I can get this straight. There we go. And then my bow is already here, as I say, all my dimensionals on there, with all the backs taken off. And then lastly my pearls. I'm still working through my old packet of pearls here. Right, I think I went up the size, didn't I? So take these. I'm going to have one for the centre of each flower. Again, once I've finished the video, I'm going to see what I can do to cover up the paint that I got on. That's crooked, isn't it? Maybe not, I don't know. So on my blog tomorrow, I'll post a photograph of it showing you what I've done. My thoughts at the moment are, oh, I haven't taken the, you meant to rub out the pencil mark, your circle. You can see it here. It goes, you can see it where it goes across the flower, but I'm not sure you can see it anywhere else. But that's okay. Right, okay, so that's the card. I said I'd do them here, didn't I? Yeah, I got 4, that's alright. What I'm thinking at the moment is to see if I can find a bird. So I could have a little bird sitting on there, especially if it's a robin. There we go. That's it. That's how I really wanted it to be. So that's today's project. I hope you like it. I hope you give it a try. As I say, it does take a lot of patience, but I think you'll agree the result is really well worth it. So that's the one that I made earlier today, and that's the one that I showed on my blog. I shall show you this one. This is one that I did earlier on, and I made a mistake with, I used the wrong size circle, and I thought, oh well, never mind it, I'm sure it'll work out right in the end. And then the last one I did it upside down. So I just don't know what I'm going to be able to do with that at all. But there you go. Just so that you know, I have big boo-boos that I don't know what to deal with from time to time as well. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, I'll put a link to my 24/7 shop in the box below. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments box and I'll be very happy to help you out, whatever your query is. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And if you'd like to give me a thumbs up, that would be really appreciated. All the measurements and the products that I've used, they will also be in the box below. You'll probably see either, depending on what device you're watching this on, you'll either see 2 arrows underneath the video, or you'll see where it says show more. Click on whichever one you can see and that'll open up the box and you'll see everything in there. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.